Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of CR Exposed. On today's episode we are looking at the Flaming Skeleton, a monster from the D&D 5th edition Monster Manual 2025 edition. So many editions in that sentence right there, it hurts my brain. So we are looking at a medium undead CR3 monster, and honestly when I was scrolling through what to pick for this week's episode I came across this and don't ever remember seeing this in any of the other books, which makes me wonder, was this unique to the 2025 edition? I know there were some extra monsters here, and this might be one of them. Initially, I thought this was the Flaming Skull because I read Skeleton way too fast. But in any event, it's kind of the same, but not really. We are looking at, jumping right into this, we are looking at 15 AC. It is a medium undead with 10 hit dice to bring us up to 45 at the moment, but that will be modified after the stats go in of 10 strength, 14 dexterity, 15 con, 10 intelligence, 15 wisdom, and 8 charisma. From there, we will look at the features area. We are vulnerable to bludgeoning, but we are only vulnerable to 1, so we will skip over that. We have immunities to fire and poison. Those are only 2, so we won't bother with that. And the conditions don't matter in this case. So for the features area, we can skip right past all of these. We can, though, on the other hand, jump into the traits. We have a death burst, which the skeleton explodes when it dies, and people have to make so much of a save, with dexterity and whatnot, and take a whole bunch of damage. So only input damage for one target. The tool update to tool 2. Very good. So for that, we will just say, okay, we are looking at 14 potential damage from the explosion, and then half as much on a success. We also have illumination, but that doesn't matter for us. We will then jump right down into the actions section here of our Flaming Skeleton. We are looking at the skeleton making 2 attacks using Flame Scepter or Hurl Flame in any combination. Very good to see. So from that, we are looking at 4, which means for our 2 hit for both of these coming from the dexterity. So we will use the 4 there. And then from that, we will just say, okay, so we're looking at our Flaming Scepter here is using what? 1d6, so that's 5.5 because we have an odd number there, and 3.5 for another odd number of fire damage, totaling a maximum of 9. And then the Hurl Flame is going to be 7 points of damage, technically 7.5. And then from there, we do have a combination of any of those 2. So we'll say for the first one, it will be that times 2. Then we can say, 1 of each. Oops. Let's go ahead and add in the other one. Or we can do the ranged as well. So in theory, what we could do is just say, we'll take the average and we'll use 1 of each. We don't know. Maybe the first round we have to make 2 Hurl Flames, and then we can make a Hurl Flame and a Scepter attack, and then we do a Scepter attack twice on the 3rd round of combat. It could be any of those. So I'm just going to stick with the average here, and that will be 1 of each because who knows? It could be any combination in combat because combat gets real crazy. From there, we do see that our skull here, our Flaming Skull, is only a CR2, which is honestly very surprising. Our Death Burst is only giving us 9 points of damage because it's happening on the last round of combat. And then, yeah, we don't have really much else going on with our undead here. So what we need to do is figure out what's going on. Let's see. If we switch this to our total combat here of all Flame Scepter all the time, now we have ourselves a CR3, although it is, it's not exact. We are looking at technically a 2.5, and we are rounding up. So the easiest way to fix that would be to give ourselves a little bit more hit points. We already have a decently high AC. If we say, let's try 1 more. We'll go from 10 to 11 hit dice. Now we're at a proper CR3, and that's with every round of combat being the Flame Scepter. So the problem here is that we need the Hurl Flame to be roughly the same. The issue is that we are only using 1d10 points of damage, as well as a +2 from dexterity. We can, it doesn't have to stick to a d10, and I would say let's do a d10 plus a d4 just for the fun of it, and bring that up to a 9 as well. So if we add in the, not 2, we'll add in plus 2.5 to bring that in with the extra d4. Now, technically, our Hurl Flame is a little better. We are looking at on average 18 to 20. If we switch this to just the 19, we are still within range and we are doing perfectly fine. If we were to switch to just doing range damage now, we still are well within our means, but the 19 is so much better. So here we go. We fixed it really quick and really easily. Of course, if people figure out that the skeleton is vulnerable to bludgeoning, perfect. Then the flaming skull is going to drop. Hopefully, your characters and your players aren't metagaming this knowledge, and they know to do some kind of checks to think like, hey, do I know skeletons are brittle and vulnerable to bludgeoning? That's why whenever I play a fighter, I always bring one of each type of weapon: slashing, piercing, and bludgeoning. You never know when you're going to need one of them. All right, so there we go. We have fixed ever so much. We just kind of slightly tweaked the flaming skeleton to make sure that it is a CR3 all the time. And if you'd like to get this tool completely for free as well, so you can make monsters, fix monsters, or check your monsters before they go into battle, go ahead and check the link in the description for my Ko-fi page, where you can get this tool, as I said, completely for free, or you can donate if you feel so inclined to. After that, you can also support the channel by becoming a channel member here on YouTube, or donating at Ko-fi monthly, or buying something, or even just throwing me a couple bucks saying, hey, like the channel, thanks so much. On top of that, there are also classes, actual classes, for both Tales of the Valiant and 5th edition here. So you're buying one and you're getting 2 uses out of it, because it works exactly the same for both. And I've also included instructions on how to tweak for each of those. There are also some subclasses, funny and silly ones, as well as very serious ones. And then there are monsters as well, some custom monsters that I've made that you can buy for your games as well. Other than that, you can like, subscribe, comment, and share with your friends. That would be greatly appreciated. And yeah, that's everything. So I will see you all in the next one.